Alright, time to watch ClarkP8's matches and see how great he's doing. Looks tired already, sweating pretty good. Being super lazy to start off with his top leg here. Not exactly sure what you're going for here, Clark. Alright, this blue belt must not be very good. Alright, so stop. Let's go back a little bit, Clark. So as we're watching this here, this hand that you have in this spot, we'll go back even more and do this in slow motion so we can really hit this up. So Clark, as soon as you hit this sweep, your right hand here, this hand, instead of coming in here, unless you've got a grip on that far side collar, it needs to be grabbing the knee on the outside here. So if you can get a grip on the outside here, your body positioning is fine, and you'll use this hand to pull his hips this way so that you can flatten out the hips and really start to get the pass going. Okay, we don't have to worry so much about the underhook, because if you grab this far side leg here, he doesn't have the ability to plant his foot to the floor, and therefore he can't bridge or get anything going. Okay, so just food for thought next time somebody has an underhook and you're in this position. Other than that, you look fine right there.
I got you.
Good posture, start to go for weave, good. Chill wiper, easy peasy. Oh boy. Alright, so let's go over this anyways, Clark. What you did was fine right there. You know my opinion though, right here, once you hit this option here, I would turn this hip down towards the ground, and we do that drill that we always work on, going to the open side. If you want to go north-south, because everything is about going to this side right here, Clark, so don't stop right here and try and fish for the Kimura trap in the north-south position. Continue your motion all the way around until you hit the backside here. So you stopped here, we needed to continue spinning around to this side. Don't stop right here unless you can completely stick him on his side with a full-blown Kimura grip at this point. Here you could go for any kind of choke if you wanted to, or seatbelt grip. Once we hit here, we need to immediately be wedging that knee in high on the thigh so we can open him up for a crucifix, which this guy is dead to rights for already on this spot. Especially since I'm assuming you guys are late in the roll and he just doesn't have very much left right now. But let's see how his elbow's already flared out, Clark. We got to go for crucifix immediately. Find enough back take, make sure that this leg is not over the top of the elbow and comes underneath the elbow. You're in moderately good position here, but your leg is not deep enough over the top of the shoulder here, okay? As we know, it doesn't matter because you can't really get to your ankles in this position. So see how his shoulder is cleared right now. If this happens at this point, we need to dig this arm much deeper. It doesn't matter about controlling this arm, right? Because the whole point of near side elbow control is to keep the elbow isolated from the body. And what happens is if you stay here and he's able to turn into you, you might not be able to get your hand deep enough in time to maintain a strong near side elbow control. So as soon as you miss this, or as your leg is out, or even if we're just hanging out in this position, Clark, I want to immediately be driving this arm as deep as I physically can, like I'm trying to reach for this shoulder, and either try and reforce mount so I can get a better bite with this leg over the shoulder, or arm triangle, or whatever you want from that position. Because you'll be able to, if you go to reforce mount and you've got a strong near side elbow control, you go right back into chalupa. But this guy looks content just to basically fight for his life in this position. He bridges over the top to prevent chalupa, which is fine, and you're going to get, looks like a rear naked choke face crank on this guy. Depends on how nice you want to be right now. which is fine. Make sure that we re-dig this underneath the elbow. This is difficult because this guy's so goddamn tired. And he's just watching you do that, too concerned with this arm. I'd like you to rotate slightly more over S. So, Clark, your midline right here, it's too far to this side of his shoulder here, okay? So I'd much rather see you shift the middle of your chest to right here, and you can lean your head more over in this direction as you do. Because the more that you can get your shoulder behind his chest, the easier it'll be for you to dig this under near side elbow, and it also makes it more difficult for him to turn back in at that point. Because I'd much rather see this arm right here deep so that you can threaten your near side elbow control, which is going to lead to Ezekiel's, backside Ezekiel's, everything good from there. Because against anybody paying attention, you wouldn't have been able to slide that grip in there. Okay, that's fairly lazy. I know you're not really worried about it because this blue belt's tired. But let's go back to this little spot right here. So that's it's just you can see where your posture is right now, Clark. This really isn't stopping anything. This grip is okay, but we don't have the kind of pull that I still need right here, and I really don't like this foot right here. It needs to be solidly wedged as a frame. Because if this guy all of a sudden decided to get a nice explosive spurt in him, he's gonna put you in a not so great spot for passing. Okay, so make sure we establish our frames quickly and with authority. This guy's weight so far back, he's oh man. Clark, you gotta give me some better matches in this, man. Same thing, I want this grip coming back to this leg. I don't like it that high right off the bat. Get this as a deeper near side elbow control. Stop worrying about controlling the wrist off the bat. That arm's gotta be much, much, much deeper. But this guy is just so tired. Go for any grip break you want, or just hang out here. It doesn't really matter at this point. This guy's going to tap any second. Off your reset, Clark. So just your posture here. So right here, you're very up straight. Your head is almost directly over your hips, okay? So you're pretty flexible, we know this, so it's difficult for him to put a knee in middle anyways, but I would much rather see this posture looking like this at a much better angle. Your head can still be up in this position. You can draw a little stick figure here. Let's get this stick figure going. Head out this way, head up right there, so that your head is closer to being more over your feet instead of directly in line over your hips. You're just very, very easy to push over at this point. Plus, you might, as soon as you know, as this line hits here, you're just going to be engaging your core and working for no reason. And God forbid we ever do a crunch. Oh God, and his arm's here. I can't tell if you have a butterfly hook in or not, but I would swing one in and immediately take his back. I can link that. It's on the half butterfly guard instructional. Holy mother. Alright, let's go back and take a look at that. I'm going to pretend like this guy was just a little bit more skilled in this position. Oh my goodness, there's so much space. And then to go that way. Yeah, that was a clusterfuck. I mean, normally that guy would have kept more weight on you, and you would have had to have been forced to play some kind of deep half guard there. That's not even a position worth breaking down just because it was such a sloppy mess. And no fault of yours, you just didn't have to do a more technical thing because that guy's weight, I mean, he's just kind of conceding. This guy's so tired. Alright, sorry I didn't have more to offer in that match, Clark. If we can get one that's with a guy with a little bit more energy or slightly more competitive, I'll definitely have more to offer. Just don't fall into the trap of when you're rolling with people that you're much better than, of taking it too easy to the point where you get lazy and sloppy with your technique. Like, you needed to be better about posture when you are sitting in your initial guard before grips or anything is established. And we all have to be really cognizant of when you're playing your collar and sleeve. You got to get that frame in there. Your legs were just way too loose, and anybody athletic is just going to blast around your feet. Especially you, because your legs are so long. It's a much easier frame to get around once they start to get around it. But other than that, great job, Clark. Hope this helps.